Hey, what's going on guys? It's Cynical. Today for you guys I want to talk about something that has always intrigued me, and what I believe, for me personally anyway, is the biggest mystery when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. It is something that I am curious about, and forever and always have been curious about, and do have a feeling that it does serve some kind of greater importance. Now, of course, there are some absolutely wild mysteries that are currently lingering for the story at the moment. We have the true identity of the Master of Masters and the Foretellers. Exactly what is in
that black box! What's in it?
literally anything to do with Quadratum or Sora is actually one of the most interesting injections into the story so far. And of course, there's about 101 different mysteries surrounding that subject alone. But I'm not talking about any of that. I'm also talking about the crown. It's the motif that represents Sora. He wears the crown necklace. Whenever he seals a keyhole or unlocks one, the crown appears beneath his feet. In various different artworks of Sora by Nomura, we can see him wearing a crown. And of course, in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, there is a cosmetic item through gathering the proofs that rewards Sora with a bronze, silver, and gold crown. The crown has always been something that has been closely associated with Sora. Now, I personally do not believe that this is just some mere design choice by Tetsuya Nomura at all, and do feel as if there is a bigger reason behind this. The name of the game is literally Kingdom Hearts, and to any kingdom there is obviously a king. In a way, I've always looked at the crown as a form of foreshadowing towards an important role that Sora plays. Now, of course, he started off as what was dubbed as an ordinary boy, but for where we're up to currently in the story at the moment, it's very clear that Sora is no ordinary person. It got me thinking with Kingdom Hearts Missing Link introducing the concept of actual families and bloodlines into that of the Kingdom Hearts story. If Sora actually does derive from a family that uses the crown insignia. A detail that's actually in Scala Caelum, which I have not stopped thinking about ever since I first came across it, is there is actually the crown motif within the city. If we take a look at the tram car that is used to obviously escort the citizens up to the higher levels of the city, on that tram car exists a crown motif. Now, this is literally the only crown motif that has ever existed within a world, and the only crown motif that exists within Scala Caelum. I find it interesting that they decided to go with the crown, considering too that unless you are actually using a no-clip or debug camera here, you will never come across this. Now currently, Scala Caelum is filled with a whole bunch of very interesting small details that right now to us don't really make too much sense, but I feel like as time goes on, and especially when the story of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link starts to actually begin and then progresses, a lot of these details will actually start to make sense to us. Right now we know that there exists two different versions of Scala Caelum, one being dubbed the Ancient Scala, the Victorian Scala that appears in Missing Link, and the more modern Scala with the tiered islands. Now we know for Missing Link that it is going to revolve around the concept of bloodlines, and those who are connected to the true bloodline being that of Ephemer, the one who built Scala Caelum, being dubbed as purebloods. It kind of seems like a setup here where the people who are purebloods related to Ephemer are the higher class, and ones who are not are, I guess you could kind of think about it in the sort of Harry Potter sense, almost mudbloods, less than. I do believe personally that Brain is going to create some kind of Keyblade uprising, and that will introduce you as the player character going up against those dubbed as purebloods. I do have this weird feeling that it could lead to another Keyblade war, and in result, we get the Scala Caelum that we see in Kingdom Hearts 3. Now, I have a feeling that the dandelions are going to be the ones that will be a part of that less than bloodline. And what is interesting is the icon that Tetsuya Nomura released to go along with Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is being hinted at as a dandelion, the 7-pronged looking Scala number. What is basically almost the exact emblem is actually emblazoned all over the current version of Scala Caelum. Now, I never really thought too much into this previous to which actually analyzing closely the details of Scala, But now knowing that this emblem, which is related to Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which is being dubbed as a dandelion, literally if you pay closer attention to this new icon, it does actually depict that of the leaves on a dandelion plant, starts to then actually make a little bit of sense as to why this emblem is all around the new Scala. Perhaps this is the result of the dandelion bloodline, those who are the surviving Keyblade wielders that do exist within the old Scala, that then took on an uprising against the pure bloods, ended up creating a new Scala, one that is of course accepting of all. So then, what does this have to do with the whole crown thing? Well, it makes me think that if this theory is true, and that the dandelions did do an uprising to create this new version of Scala and Caelum, then something towards Sora's origins, more so his ancestors, would have a part to play in all of this. Meaning that I do feel like in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, we might finally get a little bit of context towards what the crown actually truly means and what it represents, aside from that of just being plain and simple representation of Sora as a character. The only family stuff that's really ever been tackled in Kingdom Hearts is to literally do with Sora's mum. We know Sora has a mother, we've seen the cutscene at the very beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, but aside from that, this concept has never really ever been touched upon. And with Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, that is actually going to introduce that. We now know that, obviously looking at Master Xehanort, his bloodline is part of that of Ephemer's. And it seems like there's a good chance that when looking at Ericus, he's actually connected to that of Brain. So I wonder then, if we're tackling the bloodlines and ancestors of certain characters in Missing Link, is it possible that we might potentially get a little bit of ancestry towards that of Sora? Whether it be a new character, or get ready for this concept, if your player character in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link is in fact the ancestor to that of Sora. Now obviously at the end of Kingdom Hearts Dark Road, we see that blue-robed figure die, and they do explain that they spent 2 lifetimes, the first lifetime being Union Cross, and the second, we're thinking, is the player character in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link. Now it could be possible that the player character in Kingdom Hearts Missing Link might not necessarily actually be this blue-robed figure. Sure, they could have spent time being a Keyblade wielder during that era, but in regards to your specific player character in Missing Link, they could be an entirely different person, and again, possibly relating to this idea of being that of Sora's ancestor. I do feel though that the Dark Road ending probably does allude to the fact that the blue-robed figure is your player character in Missing Link as well as Union Cross, but hey, I mean, what's not to say that the player character does end up having a child in Missing Link, but then is tasked with taking Xehanort into the future to Destiny Islands to look after him. What leads me into this idea anyway though is the fact that yeah, Scala and Caelum does have a crown icon emblazoned within it, which does directly make me think that something to do with Sora, the crown's importance, has something to do with Scala and Caelum, which would link into the events of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, or somewhere around that time era, during the beginning of New Scala. I also feel like a lot of this will also connect up with the reason as to why Sora was able to connect to Ephemer at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3 during the Demon Tide boss fight, allowing Sora to use the power of fallen Keyblade wielders from the era of Union Cross and Missing Link. There is of course that whole reincarnation theory, now that we know the reincarnation theme is certainly something that is tapped into when it comes to Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, for sure, could totally see this possibility of Sora being a slight reincarnation of Ephemer, which is actually kind of wild to think about because keep in mind, if that's true, that means that Xehanort's great whatever it might be granddad ended up kicking his ass, technically speaking. Though personally I wouldn't want this. I kind of want Sora to have his own importance with his own backstory, separate from any known characters that we have currently at the moment. I personally don't think it's some kind of neat design choice to signify Sora being the main character and being that of the most important character, with Nomura constantly drawing Sora with a crown on. I remember this idea strengthening too when I ended up seeing that Kingdom Hearts 3 artwork that Nomura did with Sora sitting on a literal throne with a brand new crown, a more royal looking crown, the one with the mini crown motifs around it, with the what looks like sort of red velvet on it, with the keyblade kingdom key sticking out at the very top. I'm like, okay, yeah, this man is trying to point and hint towards something. And also, let's not forget about the 15th anniversary version of the throne artwork. This was the sketch version, but there is a very key difference here between this version and the final version, and that's that there is an animal sitting on Sora's lap. What we believe to be, just judging by the ears, you can't really see it clearly at all, but we can see some ears and the sort of size of the animal potentially being that of a fox, which then made us start thinking, okay, relating to that of potentially Ava, we know the animal that represents Ava is in fact a fox, and being that she was responsible for that of the dandelions, and that if the dandelions were the ones that ended up constructing New Scala, that does make me think that the importance of the crown is buried somewhere in there within the events of Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, or somewhere in the past. And I know it's kind of, I guess, I don't know, a bit cliche to start throwing around the idea of the King of Kingdom Hearts, but I don't know, always looking at the Kingdom Hearts logo, seeing that the crown is sitting on top of a heart, and that even looking at the throne, and seeing that the heart is on top of that throne, with the crown sitting on top, sitting over Sora's head, I feel like anyway, these kind of specific design choices aren't again just for stylistic purpose, but are usually drawn with intention, especially when it comes to Tetsuya Nomura. So yeah, if it were to be a situation at the very end of Kingdom Hearts, or at least Sora's story, whenever that might be, I honestly wouldn't be surprised if we then tackle a concept of Sora literally becoming the King of Kingdom Hearts. Also too, does the crown have ties to Quadratum? In the secret ending, we do see the crown on a billboard, and also the emblem that's on Yuzora's clothes is depicting that of a skull and crossbones, just instead of bones, with keyblades, and what looks like Sora's hair with, of course, the crown on top. In regards to that emblem though, I do feel like that has something to do with obviously Yuzora's appearance not being his true appearance, and the connection to that of Sora, whatever it might be, but the importance of the crown may have something to do with that. Whatever the case though, this is just some simple food for thought. Have you guys ever actually thought deeply into the crown, more so than just being a representation of Sora, more than just being a simple motif? It's something that so far within the Kingdom Hearts story has zero context other than being a simple motif. I would absolutely love to know your guys' thoughts and opinions towards this. What do you think it could potentially mean? However guys, I'm Cynical, hopefully you're having a fantastic day. Be sure to hit that subscribe-y button if you're not already subby-renoed to the channel. As well as that, my social links are in the description down below. Be sure to keep up to date with all of my antics. That being said, I'm Cynical, hopefully having a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys real soon. Peace.